let's see if we got this working. Alright, I think we're live. Just give me a second to get this stuff figured out. Just need to get my preview screen ready. Tonight we're playing the classic Jeremy copyright-free playlist off Apple Music. Alright, I think we're good to go. Looks like things are working. Okay, well, it has been a while. It's, oh wait, I got another screen open here. I can hear myself talking. There we go. Perfect. Get that shut down. Turn the music down because it's a little bit overpowering at times. Okay, well, thanks for joining me on this eve of May the 4th. It's coming up soon. Hey, Roborad, thanks for joining. So May the 4th is like a robot holiday. People in the robot industry love it because it's all about Star Wars, and Star Wars has some pretty awesome robots. Yes? Yes. So R2-D2, one of my personal faves, and D-0 actually is up there. I think D-0 might be ahead of C-3PO. And then there's K2SO, and there's a few more. There's some in the Star Wars universe from The Mandalorian. Trying to remember the one. Throw it in the chat if you know that name of the cool robot on The Mandalorian. The one, I think it has 11 in its name, but it was like a bounty hunter robot turned good. Yeah, that was a cool robot. I like that one. But yeah, D-0 is definitely up there. And today we have not only a D-0, but still in the package D-0. Crazy, hey? Nobody still has these things in the package. And I got it for a real good price. I think it was close to free, actually. I don't remember. I think it was either $15 or it was free. It was very low cost. So yeah, that was pretty awesome that I picked that up, and I just kept it for a rainy day. And lo and behold, that rainy day has come. So it's time to hack the D-0. If you don't know the story of D-0, it's basically a spare parts kind of little robot that was built by the droidsmith in Star Wars, and first appeared in Rise of Skywalker. I think that was that pivotal film where Rey just kind of starts becoming a Jedi. And yeah, I guess there's a few scenes where BB-8 and D-0 interact. In the first scene where they interact, BB-8 kind of finds them in a heap and then just uses his little arm, charges him up, and then D-0 comes to life. And the interesting thing is that in the film, D-0 actually has a voice. He goes like, he says thank you and battery's fully charged, and although I think he says no thank you actually, because Rey goes to touch him and he goes no thank you. Kind of stutters. It was interesting. So he comes out of the gate with a kind of a timid personality. But that's what I love about the Star Wars robots. They all have kind of like some interesting personalities, and you really get to empathize with the robots. So, and that's the kind of robots I want to build. So I was going to mention that D-0, since D-0 has a voice, we're going to add that voice to this D-0, which can only beep right now. And for some reason, Hasbro just didn't want to add that voice to either of their versions of D-0 that they made. So they have this version, which is the RC version, which is not really RC. It is not radio controlled, it's infrared controlled. I don't know if you can see that little, there's a little LED on the remote here. Yep, so definitely not RC, but it's one of the, like I said, one of the two robots that they made, or robot toys they made. And the other one is an interactive D-0, which I think you just use your phone to control it, and it's Bluetooth, and it has a single motor which drives the actual wheel of D-0. This one's different. You see these little green bands? Well, each one of those is activated by a motor. And here, I'll pull it out of the package for a sec here. Let's switch our cameras here so you guys can see what I'm doing. Alright. I decided to switch things up and put a few more colorful things in my stream. So you'll see my logo there and stuff. It's not great, you know. I'm just working on prettying up this stream. I've seen a lot of YouTube videos now where people are using OBS and it looks really, really awesome. And I was kind of jealous, so I figured I'd try a little bit. I know I'm an engineer, I'm not an artist, okay? So just bear with my my attempts to make things look good. Okay, so, and really, I'm not really an engineer. I'm a technologist by trade. But I'm a design guy. People like to say engineer because it's easier, but no, not fully an engineer. So yes, okay, D-0. This is what I want to show you. So this is cheating. Look, this robot doesn't balance at all. It has two caster wheels, and then these. So this is one motor, and this is the other motor. So it balances really well, and from what I've seen of the other D-0 robot, the interactive one, it balances on its wheel, the one wheel that drives, and it falls over like all the time. You try to, they use the head, D-0's head, to balance. You see how it's like kind of like, oh, you can't see, okay. You see how it's a bobbly kind of head? Well, in the interactive one, they use the head, they tip it for D-0 to actually turn. And unfortunately, the balancing isn't great, and he just like tips his head way too much and falls down. So this one is going to be like, I think, a lot more sturdier, a lot more upright than the other D-0. So this one's going to be easier to hack. And I forgot already that he has 3 antennae. Here, I'll show you in this camera here. Which is hard to get out with my fingers. Okay. There we go. So, I guess I can turn the music up a little bit. Seems to be pretty low. Alright, so he has 2 angled antennae. And these are all actually made to fit in only one way, so that's really handy. Okay, there we go. Antennae installed. And so the one detriment that this guy has is actually his head falls off. This whole section falls off very easily. Okay, so all it is just a plastic plug portion here that holds it all together, and it falls off constantly when you're driving around. So yeah, D-0's head doesn't move side to side in this version. It only bobbles around. I think that I want to get rid of that bobble. It seems ridiculous. I don't know why you wanted to have a bobble-headed robot. So I think I'll put a servo in there just so he can actually turn his head properly. And we'll open this up. One other thing I wanted to show you guys is that, so in the interactive version, these are clear, or kind of a transparent black color, kind of a tinted color, and that has LEDs behind it. So I want to do the same thing. I want to put LEDs behind these windows. So what I'm gonna have to do is like cut out the plastic because this is just painted. These are not actual windows. So we're gonna open up that section. Hopefully I don't make it look too bad. And then what we're gonna do is use this stuff I got back here that you can't see yet. Here it is. So, okay, what do you think? All we needed was like 3 tiny strips or just one big strip right here to make this tinted window piece. But they don't sell little tiny pieces of tint. They sell whole rolls of tint. Oh no. What the heck am I going to use the rest of this for? It's so ridiculous. I only need a tiny little bit, like, you know, probably 6 inches by 3 inches. And I have, what is this? Okay, 3 feet by 6.5 feet. Anybody need some tint? Of course, I'm going to double up. Yeah, I know the Hasbro quality is pretty not so great on this. And funny enough, somebody has actually redesigned the whole deal, and it's 3D printable. I was looking at that actually. I was curious to see if someone had done it, and they did. It was actually a number of years ago, probably like I think it was 2019 or something. But yeah, I forgot to say. Oh yeah, tonight is brought to you by Okanagan apple cider. Orchard peach. It's funny how we always say that, like, tonight is brought to you by. It's just because I think I'm used to like hockey night in Canada where it's like tonight it's brought to you by Molson Canadian, or I forget, I think there was a number of beer companies that sponsored that. Pretty sure it's mostly Molson, but correct me if I'm wrong if you're Canadian. And I know Triple E Mister or Roborad, you're definitely Canadian, so correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, no, there's no sponsorship here. Just, just so you're aware. Okay, so where to start? We've already taken Dio's head right off of here. We don't need this thing. This thing is garbage now. Oh, it's smeared off now. Okay, interesting. Okay, get that out of the way. Oh, I was going to show you guys this. So, this is where the batteries go. 4 AA's, and we no longer need that. So we might put the LiPo battery in this section. We'll see. Looks like I need a bigger screwdriver. This tiny one's not fat enough. Give me a second. Whoa. Well, this one's too big. I need one that's just right. The Goldilocks one. It's hard to get my fingers in there. Okay, there we go. So maybe I'll bring it towards the electronics bench. I'll push all my goodies aside here. Okay. Let's get to a bigger view here so you guys can see what's going on. There we go. So here we go. This is the section where all the batteries go. And we no longer need that. So that is a nice compartment here that I definitely want to get into and possibly utilize with putting the LiPo back. Are we back? Oh guys, we're back. That was weird. We had a temporary disconnect. Well, anyway, yeah, like I was saying, just try to fit the LiPo battery in there possibly. But otherwise, we want to open this thing up and see what's inside here. Aren't you curious? Because I sure am. I know there's 2 motors in there. I know that for sure. But as for the rest, I know that there's nothing in this head. It's just a bobblehead. Silly bobblehead. Okay, so we do have some gears and such in here. Does this come out? Oh, it does. Okay. Remind me how this goes in. Oh no! I'm losing pieces. Okay. This goes here. That spins around there. Okay, that's fine. I know what's going on. We'll just put these together, put that there. Move some more of this stuff out of the way. We need some more room here. Okay, so these 3 screws hold that gearbox in for that motor. I don't think I want to take that apart, but it looks like this whole piece can come off with 4 screws. And I should probably keep the screws that go on there together. You know what? I think we should just use the drill. Why be slow when we could be speedy? Okay, so not all these screws are the same. Let's kind of keep them where their designation should be. Okay. That one's there. Yeah, so I never really mentioned why I've been away for a little while. Kind of sad news. My mom had cancer, and it was a very aggressive type, and they tried to treat it, and it didn't really work out that well. It was to the point where it was untreatable, and unfortunately, it took her. So my mom passed away about a week and a half ago. And yeah, so I was trying to visit her as much as I could for the past while, and then a few days after I visited her last, she passed. So I was very fortunate to be able to go see her and have a good visit with her, and then yeah. But it's the way these things go. Cancer really sucks, and definitely hope and pray that a cure comes for cancer one day, because it's a terrible way to go. Especially during this pandemic season, it was definitely threw a wrench in a lot of things. So I not wish that on anybody to go through that again. I guess if we're talking about sad news, I should also bring up something that I came across just the other day. I don't know if you guys know or remember Lumpy. He's an early member of the EZ-Robot community / Synthium community, I guess now. He was some guy from Red Deer that created a full-size R2-D2. He was kind of a legend around here because he was the only one with a full-size R2-D2. Definitely a hero in my book, because that's one of my faves. And unfortunately, he passed suddenly, just the other day. So lots of sad news these days. So, but that's life, you know. Things come and go, and so do people. And hold those around you close, and yeah, definitely enjoy each day. live to your fullest, and cherish the moments. We only have a certain amount of time here, I guess, and anything can happen. It's kind of sad too that I guess just to throw another piece of sad news that I don't know if you guys remember Jason Hohen. He used to work for EZ-Robot and did our videos back in the early days when we were going to New York and going to different events and stuff like that, promoting EZ-Robot. He did like the documentary style videos. He unfortunately passed as well, just probably 3-4 weeks ago. So yeah, lots of things happening that kind of on the sadder side. Oh wow, crazy, man. I'm sorry to hear that, Roborad. He was just writing in the comments that he was in the hospital for a while and had his baby toe removed from a crazy infection. Oh wow. Oh man. Well, I hope that that you can get out of that wheelchair one of these days, and we'll hope that you get all healed up. Smirnoff helps. Yeah, definitely. Mom and Dad's crazy juice definitely does make things a little bit easier. Or spicy juice, or whatever they call it. I know there's a funny term for it, but I'm not getting it right. All right, well, now that we're over the bad news, let's get back into this hack. I'm kind of stuck. Like, this is not opening up here. I feel like there's something holding it back, and I think I see the culprit. I think it's this guy. Just don't know how to release this guy. We might have to do some prying. See what we got here. I guess I could move this thing a little that way so you can see what's going on. Alright. We're going to pry this up. We've done it. We've successfully removed it. So we got a couple of screws here. 3 in fact. Yeah, it didn't help that I removed the screws from this motor. I think that's just holding the gearbox together, so I'm just going to put these back. Okay, I think this is going to help. I'm pretty certain. I think it's going to allow this whole piece to come off. Yeah, always an adventure when we're live hacking. Never know what's going to happen here. Okay, so the same sort of thing as the other side. That came off pretty decent. I'm still confused about where the electronics are. This is interesting. Let's just set this over here, I guess. So I think I'm gonna put this screw back in so I don't forget that the long one goes in the middle. You know, like this, we're at the point where this thing should come apart. Oh, there we go. It is coming apart. Spoke too soon, I guess. There we go. Okay. Woo! What do we got here? So here is the speaker. Well, that's pretty cool. We might be able to tap into that and not have to use the IoTiny speaker. So that's because it's a nice
Nice large speaker. I'm guessing it's 8 ohm, but we can have a look maybe. It looks like it's 16 ohm. So the volume will be a little quieter. But it is nice that, you know what, I'm just going to double check. Just have to quickly look here, bend back this plastic piece. Yep, verified, 16 ohms. So the volume will be a little quieter, but the speaker itself is larger, so that also amplifies the sound naturally. So maybe we'll just see. We'll see what happens. This is pretty impressive, actually, this gearbox. They have a double gearbox. 2 gears, 2 motors and gear sections together. Just there and there. That's pretty awesome. What else do we have here? We have, I think this is a fuse, but it looks like just like a tiny capacitor on one single board, but pretty sure it might be a thermal fuse. That's interesting. And then here is the whole electronic section with the button. Well, it looks like it's a double plunger button. Okay, what else do we have here? I think there's a sensor on the board. Feels like it might be glued in place. Oh, there we go. We did it. So this is something we don't need. Oh, look at that. Oh, beautiful. Happy day. This whole battery section can be removed. That is awesome. Because all I really need, I could just like probably cut this off. I just need space. Oh, you know what? We still do need this because of these portions where things screw down to. So we need this entire thing. That's too bad. I guess we could hollow it out. We might be able to stick the IoTiny in there and the battery in there. It seems pretty tight though. Might try to make some room where these old electronics were. So looks like we're dealing with a blob. I forget what people call these, a blob top or clop top IC or IC blob. There's a number of names that people come up with for these things, but yeah, it's just a little small integrated circuit with black epoxy on top of it, and that makes it cheaper, I guess, instead of having a package. And it also allows them to have some sort of proprietary control over it. Sorry, I didn't realize this was kind of blurry. I think that's better. My bad. I had my Smirnoff eyes on, I guess. Yeah. It's the spicy juice. Okay. So we're going to cut these electronics out of here. We don't care about them. Oh, cool. So this is, I don't know if you can hear it. That is a tilt sensor. Or like a, maybe it could be used as a bump sensor if this whole thing ran into something. But tells you if the robot fell over, likely. So that's kind of cool. And otherwise, what else do we have on here? Likely some MOSFETs to control the motors. And what we're going to do with the motors is use servo electronics to control them. Makes things so much easier when you can just use servo electronics. Alright, and then we don't need this guy up here. This is the infrared LED, receiver LED. We'll keep this window up here. We could put our own power LED or something up there. But you know what, we're going to have LEDs inside of Dio's head, so might as well just use those. We don't need that. Keep that together. Okay, so we'll just chop off a few wires here and see if we can fit the IoTiny maybe in this space right here. I'm gonna remove that speaker. We don't really need that at the moment. We also have to find a way to get from our battery to the IoTiny to power it up. Right now the battery has a Dean's connector on it. Okay, so let's move a few of these things so I don't lose them. Okay, all that can stay together, it's fine. Yeah, those motors definitely take up a ton of space in this guy. Let's get some snips. Snippy snippy. Cut some of these wires off of here. So that black and red wire, oh, that goes to the motor. Yep, AutoTiny's there. It's been my go-to hacking board for a while now. Just love how small it is. It's nice that it has its own switching power supply on there too. And those are the speaker wires there. Okay. We're swapping this controller for this controller. Wi-Fi, infrared. Oh, so bad. So bad. But that's the way they make these toys affordable. Is they use really affordable control methods. Okay, what else can we remove from here? Yeah, we can remove the fuse. It is nice to have a fuse, but yeah, it doesn't need to be here. These are the motor wires. Yep. And these are the motor wires for the other one. And then these yellow ones are for the speaker. And the black wire is the negative terminal for the battery. What we can do to save a bit more room is we can get rid of this top here. It's nice. I've never seen this before, where they have a removable top on their battery bank. I think that's pretty neat. Looks like it's glued in place, so we're gonna have to do some prying. Our music, what's it doing? It's so low. Let's switch the song. Okay, here we go. Pry. Get this off of here. They're using like a really yellow siliconed or kind of stretchy silicone to hold this together. Oh! Oh man, lucky DJ wasn't there. I would have got him in the face. Okay. So we got some battery terminal stuff we can just pop off of here. Don't need you. Okay, what else can we get rid of on here? These things are just molded in here, so I can't really make that happen. I can snip all this stuff off of here, but you know, I don't really need to at the moment. We can move some of this stuff. So this stuff will be soldered on to these servo electronics. Now the tricky part is like he's going to be trying to fit in all this wiring. There's a lot of wiring. What we might do is desolder the wiring here, cut it down so that it's only like a little tiny bit, and then that will make things easier so we don't have to try to stuff so much wire in this small body. So like I said, we can't get rid of this, unfortunately, because it would have gave us like a ton of space, but there's some important mounts here on this battery pack. And yes, I think I'm going to have to fit to the LiPo inside of here, if possible. You know what? I don't know. It's looking like it might come up short. This is going to be tricky. So we do always have the head as well. The head has a lot of empty space in it that's doing nothing. So I would say, like, I would love to use the LiPo battery in here, and then, but you see that the most space is in the middle, and we can't get around that by going on the sides or anything. It just doesn't fit. So it looks like the LiPo battery won't be able to go in here without some super drastic mods. What's this piece? Does this have to be here? Oh, actually, yes, I think it does. It's for... It holds the threaded portion for this to thread into the battery cover. This guy. Wonder if this piece comes off too. It would give us some more room. Okay. Just hopefully I don't snap it into my face. You know what? Let's play it safe. I don't know, do you guys remember Louis the Lightning Bug? Or was that just a Canadian thing? You always gotta play it safe around electricity. That's what this kind of moment reminds me of. You always gotta play it safe around plastic, or you'll get the plastic in the face. Yeah, this doesn't look like it's gonna go. Just gonna have to stay as is. Oh wait, I spoke too soon. I've done it. Anyway, let's bring in the big guns. Bring in some pliers. Oi. This definitely would give us some more room if we got this out of here. Oh man, so afraid of stabbing myself with this screwdriver. Okay, we're getting it. We're getting it. We may have to break this plastic, but we're getting it out of there. Okay, so at least this metal stuff can come out once I clip these guys. They did the classic plastic weld where you have these, I guess, pillars, I guess you could say. You have these pillars that come up and through the metal, and then they push like a soldering iron or something on them to flatten out the pillars, and it holds the metal in place because the plastic kind of melts into a kind of a blob and prevents this from coming out. So that's why we have to cut off those pillars. I like to save this kind of stuff because you never know when you might need it for another project, when you have doing the kind of the different kind of power source with AA batteries or something. Never happens for me these days, but you never know. I always like to reuse stuff. I'm that kind of person. I'm more of a, you know, like the best way to recycle stuff is just to reuse it, not to actually get it processed over again, because then has to go through this long, arduous process of getting made into something again. And if you could just reuse it and repurpose it, then it saves that entire process. That whole process takes energy, water, all kinds of stuff, right? So, yeah, the best R in my book, R, is the reuse. Sorry if you weren't privy to that R. I'm a fan of pirate jokes, so most of them have R in them one way or another. Like, what's a pirate's favorite movie? If you're in the chat there, type in your answer. What's a pirate's favorite movie? You may know it. And while you're doing that, I'll tell another joke. What's a pirate's favorite letter? That's even a better one. So, if no one is ready to wait, I gotta see if the live chat is on. Sorry, my mouse is. There it is. Live chat is on. Okay, good. All right. Since no one's responding, I'll just tell you the answer. A pirate's favorite movie is ones that are rated R. You probably would have guessed that one. That one's pretty easy. But this next one is a little bit harder. What's a pirate's favorite letter? Some people think that a pirate's favorite letter is the R, but his first love be the C. Pretty awesome, hey? They're just lame dad jokes. But hey, I'm a lame dad, so I'm allowed to do those kind of things. Okay, we're getting rid of all these pillars just because they're sticking out and bothering me. We don't need them. Okay, how are we going to do it, guys? How are we going to fit in this and this? So what my gut tells me is that we should try our best to make the battery fit in the base. One way or another, we need to make it happen. Why? Because all your weight in the base, all your base in the base, all your weight in the base is best, because then allows this robot not to tip over as easily. I don't know, this thing is so big. Maybe we'll just sneak around and see if DJ has some smaller batteries in here. Might be able to use those. Let me see. Aha! I did find something. This battery. Oh, that's not going to help us. Sad days. You know, it's thinner, but that's not what we're crying about. We're crying about the length. So, what I was thinking is that we might be able to cut this whole section out, and hopefully these are still kind of sturdy enough. Slip our battery in there. Oh man, definitely going to need to cut a lot of plastic to make that happen. But yeah, just looking at it though, like, still, it's pretty close to that bottom. Still, we're likely to run into an issue of it fitting. We definitely have to clear out all this plastic down here. And cut a hole in the top. Get rid of all the plastic in here. It's gonna be a job. Am I up for doing this? I think so. I think we're gonna have to make it happen. Yeah, this battery's not gonna help. Let's put that aside. I think we're stuck using this type of battery. And then I was thinking, you know what, if the IoTiny doesn't fit in here, which I think it's too wide, we'd put it in the head. Got a lot of space in here. This means we have to run a lot of wires all the way up. We have to run servo wires and speaker wires if we want to use the speaker, power wires, a lot of stuff. So in the original design here, like they had some tubes going from the bottom to the top, and yeah, that's definitely what exactly we need to do if we do that, because yeah, these tubes would be conduit basically carrying wires from the body section to the head, and that's what we need to do. Yeah, tiny brain and a tiny head. I think you know what, it might fit on the back of this fairly decently. Let's put these antennae to the side for now. Maybe. Looks pretty snug. We could remove this connector from the IoTiny. We don't really need it. So what we would need to do is run a couple of wires like this, a couple of silicone wires that have a male side on them, and maybe a fuse. Would be nice. And then come up and be soldered to the IoTiny. So, could do that. Now I have to see how this thing comes apart, because something tells me it might be just glued together. And that's going to be unfortunate. Yeah, all this stuff looks like it's fused together with glue. So, this is going to be tricky. I hope we don't mess it up real good. I see one screw on this thing, but it's like facing the other way. I don't know if you can see that shiny thing down in there. I don't know what that holds together. So maybe if we remove this piece, there's a possibility of that. We could get access to that screw, and that might help us. Okay, let's move that out of the way. See if we can manhandle this thing. Oh man, it's surprisingly stubborn. Yeah, it has to be able to last with kids pulling on it and dropping and all that kind of stuff. So, man, it's a bit thick to try and like break it or cut it too. Interesting. This is gonna be tricky. Okay. Try to turn it and maybe. Okay, well, we turned it successfully. Now can I come out this way? Something tells me no. Holy, it's in there good. We may have to get in there and try to chop it down. That's a real tight space, though. Let's see if this stuff. No, I think the majority of this stuff might be glued together. I don't want to rough it up too much, even though it has like fake rust and fake dents. I'm gonna mold it into the robot. Still don't want to make it look all busted up. Holy moly. May have to use the Dremel to try to get in there. Use the cutting wheel. Cut down like this way. Just down in here.
See if that works.
Okay.
If you have your speakers turned up, definitely turn them down at this point because I'm going to be using the Dremel tool and it is very loud. So be forewarned. Man, that's tricky. I don't know if I can get in there. Let's try. You guys. That's kind of working. Oh yeah, we're making some headway here. I don't know if you heard that, but I thought that was a pretty good pun. I didn't really realize it at the time. Said we're making some good headway. On Dio's head. There we go. We've done it. Man, I don't... That part of the hack is going to be, if you want to do it yourself, definitely painful. Okay, so we have a spring in here. The spring seems to be held on. There we go. By just twisting things onto it. There we go. Spring unlocked. We don't need no stinking springs. Gotta use good old-fashioned servos in here. Okay, so the screw I was talking about, right in there. See if that removes the back off of Dio's head. Okay. Removed.
Might need to pry some stuff. Prying eyes. This plastic is coming apart a little bit. Don't want to break it too much. Yeah, it looks like this lip holds this whole thing in place. So I don't think it's going to come out this way. But this piece might come out this way. We will see. Or we need to pry open this lip here. Okay, yeah, okay, that's good. Okay, so we have the screwdriver in there. It seems like prying that lip away will allow this piece to pop off. It's going to be tricky to do. I just want to wreck this plastic piece. Really, we need to pry it about here and here to open it up enough so we can slide it out. So, do our best here. Don't want to break anything, but we got to be a bit forceful with it. We will need another screwdriver. Oh man. Is this method working? It seems to be. Oh man. That is tricky business though. Get those screwdrivers as far down as possible. Holy, they really didn't want people hacking this thing. Come on, D-0 head. Unlock all your secrets. Let us know. I'm sure I'm going to come up with a way that'll be like, aha, that's how you do it. And then be like, oh, I should have been doing that all along. Looks like I got flagged for for something there, Roborad, so I had to enable your. Yeah, I don't know how they do it in the factory. I don't know if it's overmolded. Oh no, you know what? I know what it is. I can see it now. I'll try to point it out to you guys. Okay, so you see this pillar down here? Well, there's a little dab of glue on that pillar that's gluing both sides of D-0's head together and down in here as well. So I don't know if it's a terrible angle, but right down in there. And that's what's holding these two pieces on. And then once you separate these two pieces, obviously everything is easier. And this will just come off like nobody's business. Excuse me, it'll come off no problem. Looks like there should be some screws in there, but no, I don't see any. Okay, let me try something first. Let me try to pry the pillar apart for a moment here. It could be just hot glue. In that case, where's the booze? Need to draw on this thing in isopropyl alcohol. The booze is gone. Gotta go to the source to get all the booze here. Okay, so just throw a little bit in there, swish it around. Throw a little bit in the bottom there, switch that around. And hopefully, you can see like the alcohol is coming through the cracks here, so that's a good sign. So, what we want to use the alcohol for is to soften up that. If it's hot glue, then we'll be able to remove it. But if it's plastic welded or super glued, then we're kind of out of luck. Okay, we'll save this screw, put it over here. Oh. Yeah, this is definitely more complex than the NASA nose capsule for sure. That would at least have some... No, what am I... No, no! What have I done? The isopropyl is melting the paint off of this thing. Funny thing, though, is that we can clean this entire thing with isopropyl afterwards. You know what? Remember how I told you guys that we'll be cutting some holes in here? Let's just do that now. It's going to save us some time. Yeah, that's my little trick. I learned that from Dave at Solar Robotics. He showed us that with alcohol, you can remove the surface tension of hot glue. I'll put the... It's child-proof, and I'm a child. I can't get this thing off. I cross-threaded it onto the bottle. There we go. Yeah, so surface tension of hot glue can be removed with isopropyl alcohol. Like, it wicks under it, and then it makes hot glue easy to remove. And so when BJ and I were building hot glue style robots, that was definitely a godsend to be able to remove some of that hot glue real easily. Looks like our D-0 is even more war torn now that we have those black smears all over it. Okay. I have to be careful because the green paint is also coming off, so I gotta be careful of that. D-0 wouldn't be D-0 without his green nose. Okay, so let's we'll cut the holes, and that'll make it so much easier to, because the Dremel will just like destroy a lot of these supports and stuff in here and the glue. So let's make that happen. All right, Dremel time. BRB. If you have your speakers turned up like crazy, turn them down because it's gonna be loud again.
Nice. was reading Alan's haiku there. That's pretty funny. All right, so D-0 looks pretty mangled here. So what we're going to do is trim off this excess ABS plastic with some side cutters here. I think Alan, you'd probably remember Lumpy in our community. You've been around long enough to know him. He was I think one of the first R2D2 builders in our community. I don't know if you were here earlier for the news, but unfortunately, his name is Chris Sturgis, I believe. Chris with a K, and unfortunately he passed away just this week suddenly. I don't have any more information than that, but just wanted to let you guys know. He still has a number of posts in the community helping people out with their robot builds. Definitely was a very nice guy. Okay, so not too bad of a job. No, it's not perfect, but I think we will have to get rid of this piece too if we want to get our LEDs into these channels. So yeah, sad. He was a big part of Calgary and Red Deer's maker community. I think he actually was like one of the head guys of the Red Deer hackerspace, if I'm not mistaken. If you guys are familiar with maker fairs, we had miniature maker fairs, mini maker fairs here in Western Canada. There was, I think, more than a few happened in Vancouver, and I think 3 or 4 happened here in Calgary. Oh, that's awesome. You remember him. Yeah, he was around in the EZBV3 days. A lot of his, I think he had a Robo Sapien that was run off of E3. Yeah. Yeah, I think I looked and he has a number of questions on there, and then there's 7 robots on the community page. Okay. Sorry about all this plastic chopping. A necessary evil if we want to open this bad boy up. Yeah, this is definitely not like a Wall-E hack, that's for sure. Wall-E, you can just open that thing up and you're on your way. This guy, you really need to go to town to open this thing up. Okay, let me clean a bit of this junk up here. Yeah, I know. I don't know if you're here for that too, but yeah. That exact thing, like that cancer got my mom just a week and a half ago, and the heart problems got Jason Hohen, who used to work here 3 or 4 weeks ago. So yeah, lots of crazy stuff. Yeah, that's why I was kind of underground for a little while there, probably since November. Haven't been too active because I've been trying to visit my mom as much as I could. She lived, or my dad lives in Vernon, which is across the mountains from Calgary. And it takes about 6.5 hours if you're driving pretty fast. So yeah, so I'd do that, and so yeah, sorry. I guess you can see why I wasn't so engaged lately, but that's what was going on. Sorry I didn't mention it to anybody. It was kind of a personal matter. And I had a hard time dealing with it, so you know how that goes, you know? Don't really want to talk about what you're going through. Sounds like a manly thing, hey? No, I do wish I was more open with those things, but it happens. Alright, so now that we're at this stage, I think I'm going to take that Dremel and go cut this support off here. And that should weaken this thing enough that we might be able to open it up. That's the goal anyway. And we might be able to, well, watch your fingers, get this knife in here and cut some stuff. Also watch your eyes, because these blades can break sometimes. Oh, sorry, I didn't see your message before, Roborad. Yeah, Hasbro, if they come across this video, they'll be like, no! Not our cute little D-0 toy. Be quiet, Hasbro. We need to do some real hacking here and get this thing working like a real robot, not this crazy infrared control thing that's... You know what? Infrared control has been around since I've been alive. And I'm almost 40, guys. I turned 39 this year. It's time to move up to the real stuff. Oh, thanks, Alan. Appreciate that. Oh, congrats on getting fully vaccinated. That's awesome. My wife just got vaccinated yesterday, I think. I think it was yesterday morning. Yeah, she, as for symptoms after she got vaccinated, we thought, you know, she was pretty much in the clear. Nothing really happened during the day, but when she went to bed, she started getting the chills, and she could not. Yes, I'm a youngin' still, for sure. But I'm an old soul, right, guys? Right? No. I'm just me. I'm a kid at heart. Look at me. I'm playing with toys on a Friday nights. But yeah, my wife got vaccinated, and she had the chills at night, and she just couldn't get warm. She got her heating pad and stuff. I had to actually, like, pretty much hug her for her to get her body heat back. She was crazy, shivering and stuff, so that wasn't good. But once she got over that and fell asleep, she was pretty much good to go after that. She said she was about 80%, I guess, in the morning. But so she got the AstraZeneca, the one that everyone's kind of scared of, because that's what we have been given at the moment here in Canada. There's supposed to be lots of Pfizer coming soon, but yeah, she got the AstraZeneca.
1, 2, 5.
Oh no!
3.
My dad's
0,
trying to call me.
6, 3, 1, 0, 1.
Okay. Let me give my dad a quick message here. Sorry about that. Yes, talking about vaccines and stuff. I can't get mine yet because I am underage. It's only 40 plus right now in Canada. Oh, wow. She got stomach sickness after the vaccine. Nice. Well, I'm glad you're back to full strength, Alan. That does suck having to go through that, though. A couple days. Alright, so let me head back over to the Dremel station and
cut this thing apart further.
All right, turn your speakers down, guys. Chat amongst yourselves while I go and do this rugged work. We absolutely gutted this thing. Oh wow, that's pretty awesome, 16 and older. Alright, I just need to answer this quick text. Okay. No, I have not heard from Toymaker or Dave Cochran lately. I know Dave has a career in finance, I believe, but no, I haven't seen him. Another one that was curious to me was Anthony Amorales. He was such a huge robot builder for a while, and then once he got those cease and desist things, and he had some bit of health trouble, and a whole bunch of things happened in his life. I think there was a fire at his house too. He went off the radar for a long time. I haven't heard from him since. I think he still has files on Thingiverse, but yeah, no action in a long time. Holy moly, guys, after all that, still does not want to open up. Unfortunately, you can see here I went a bit overzealous with the Dremel tool.
I'll have to clean that up a little bit afterward. What are we gonna do? Okay, I see a couple more places that if we made some incisions or something, that we could break the glue, hopefully. Maybe I could fit the Dremel tool down into there. I wish I could fit this and down into there and just cut it, but what a mess, guys. What a mess. I do know of Toy Maker. I forgot. That's Tony Ellis, right? Tony Ellis is all over LinkedIn. So if you guys are ever on LinkedIn, he posts there quite a bit. Not too sure exactly what he's up to. I think he's still doing robots. He retired from the toy industry, I believe, right? If I'm not mistaken. And then went on to just retire and build robots in his retirement. And that's as far as I know. So if you're on LinkedIn, check out Tony there. If that's indeed Toy Maker. I remember there was another guy in our community named Movie Maker. Not too sure what happened to him. Yeah. Yeah, true. This thing is booby trapped. Yeah, that was pretty crazy. I think it was Sony Pictures that came after him with his Johnny 5 stuff, if I'm not mistaken. They were very vocal about not producing not replicating the Johnny 5. Now, here's the weird part. Do you guys know who Titan Ross is? If you look on Facebook, and I believe he's actually posted to our community, maybe. Titan Ross has reproduced the Johnny 5 miniature, like the little toy version that you saw in the movies. He actually reproduced it and made it happen, and he sells these little replica Johnny 5s all over the place. Now, I'm confused though, like how is Titan Ross doing this when Anthony Amarales got a cease and desist? Very confused. So if anybody knows the answer to that one, definitely let me know, because it doesn't make sense in my mind. Maybe the little versions are not as big a threat as a big version, but hey man, like you have 3D printed 3D files of this tiny little Johnny 5 that could be scaled up pretty easily. I don't know. There's always weird things in this world you may never understand. Okay, let's just try sawing this little bracket with my knife here. See if that helps. Yeah, it could be. I never thought about that. He might be in talks with Sony and got a license of some sort. Because, yeah, he's like the mini Johnny 5 guy. He actually used the IoTiny in one of them at one point. I'm not too sure if he still is, because it looks like he might have went back to RC control. Looks like he was a big RC enthusiast. But he did try out the IoTiny for a while. And had voices and everything, and he has a really cool circuit for Johnny 5's mouth, where it actually goes really well with the speech. Not too sure what he's using on that one. I would be curious to see what he's using. Holy moly. So the sound actually triggers the mouth, and the mouth looks like it's talking, sort of thing, like just like Johnny 5. I'm very surprised on how much motion he gets with such tiny little arms and motors. Yes! We made it through! Okay. Not all the way. I'm guessing I need to split this, because there's probably glue. Yep. There's definitely glue holding everything together. This thing is an impenetrable fortress. We will prevail. I'm determined. Oh, yes, I was going to tell you about something else. An interesting thing that happened to me just in the past couple days. So, you know, I kind of sold out, I guess you could say, and I joined up on TikTok. Now, I'm not much of a dancer or a musical kind of person. I don't have those type of skills, but there is a growing DIY community on TikTok. It seems to be, I seem to see a lot of people on TikTok that are like resharing it to Instagram and stuff, so it looks like a lot of people are migrating over now that it's not under threat by President Trump. And yeah, so there's tons of people 3D printing stuff on there. It's pretty crazy. So you'll see some of my stuff if you follow me on Instagram. You'll see my reposting from TikTok there. And anyways, long story short, I went micro viral on one of my posts. So I posted about this. If you can see that, maybe we'll switch our views here for a quick second. There we go. A miniature milk crate. This is what I posted to TikTok. Now, I didn't design this, but I did remix it, if you're familiar with remixing. So I added a few features to this. So this, I made it click in. There, that was better. So that these milk crates can stick together. People thought that was pretty cool. Oh no! Don't lose your parts! Okay. But then, I also made, I don't know if you can see it. Here, let's do this. Okay, I made this little piece here. This tiny little piece that can fit in the handles of these milk crates, like so. You just push it into place, like that. And then you can lock them together like that. So the biggest thing is that people thought the tiny milk crate was cute. And then they're like, oh, and that's pretty awesome that you can lock them together. And that netted me over 50,000 views on TikTok. More than any viral or micro-viral hit I've ever had in all my life. You know, on YouTube, the highest amount of views I've got on a video is probably 30,000. And so that was pretty crazy. Could not believe it. And then also 1/3 of the people liked it, which was crazy to me as well. So there was over, I think, there's like 18,000, 1,000, it's like 18,000 likes. It's crazy. Could not believe it.
And then, so people were like, oh yeah, what else can you do with these things? And so they asked if you can put Nintendo Switch games in there. So I built this little insert that inserts into here, and Nintendo Switch games can fit into it. I have this with me because I was showing it off at work. And then I thought, hey, another person also asked, like, hey, wouldn't it be cool to make your SD cards look kind of like records? So there's one you guys might recognize. If you're a younger guy like me, you might recognize this one. So yeah, it was a kind of a neat idea. So I sticker printed these guys and then made another insert for SD cards. These are skinnier, so you can fit more of them in there, but there we go. It's a crate of records, but they're SD cards. Pretty funny, hey? Anyways, I did a Fallout video that didn't come even close to the same amount of traction that video did. But it's crazy trying to manage the amount of comments I've gotten through. There's over 200, and I've been trying to slowly reply to some of them. Okay, guys, let's get back at it. Enough of me chatting about crazy TikTok shenanigans. But if you're on there, it seems like there is definitely a large 3D printing community on there. Even some YouTubers are on there. I'm trying to remember his name, but he commented on one of my videos. That was pretty neat. It'll come to me later on, but anyways, if you want to check out what's going on, check out the 3D printing community, follow a bunch of those guys, and there's a cool community there. As for robot builders, there isn't that many, or I haven't found them yet. So I've been trying to find them through 3D printing, but not a lot of 3D printing enthusiasts are also roboticists. Only a select few. So there's a guy named Scott's Robots, I think it is. He's building, he calls it Robud, a new robot. And he has another one. Oh, and the name escapes me. But he posts on Facebook quite a bit. More so than TikTok, I think. And then I think Titan Ross is on there with his Johnny 5 robots. And he's also building another cool one from Toy Soldiers, I believe the show was called. He's making an animated toy soldier come to life. Not like those little army men. It was like kind of G.I. Joe-ish toy soldier guys. And Will's on there. You guys gotta follow Will. Come on. So yeah, if you're not a social media enthusiast, just ignore me. But it's interesting. Yeah, it's neat to see all the cool new ideas and stuff that people have on there. Okay. I feel like we're almost there, guys. Oh, that's the sound of money. The pop of the plastics. Okay, we got a good crack going along here. Let's use a screwdriver. Man, I'm gonna lose all these screws, I know it. Yep, that's good. Yes. Okay. We're in business. Yes. I think we're finally in. Oh, there's one support I didn't even see there before. It's way under this plastic here. Looks like this is like plastic welded to it as well. We did it! We've done it! Yay! Finally. Yeah, definitely get a 3D printer, Alan. They're a lot of fun. They will take up a lot of your time, though. Be forewarned. But everyone's going with the Ender 3 is the common one because it's so inexpensive. But there's another one coming out that is basically the Ender 3, but it's Elegoo. I think they call it the Nova 2, maybe. Don't quote me on that. But it's actually cheap, like almost half the price of the Ender 3, and same sort of quality, same works. It's about I think it's 160 USD. No, unfortunately, there was a booby trap. Like it broke here and almost it went like that piece went flying. So you're right about that. But no gold in there. There's no gold at the end of that rainbow. But you can see they plastic welded this stuff, or like put a ton of glue on it. See the remains here? There, there. So yeah, this was never meant to be opened up once it was sealed. This is like the Lost Tomb, Raiders of the Lost Ark. No one was ever meant to grab that gold anymore, or that treasure. Okay, now that we're in, we can start taking care of a few more things and cleaning up some of the mess that we made. So I have to do a bit more snipping and what do you call that? Dremeling, yes, that's the word. So I think that I may not get to the end of this hack by tonight. This head alone took me like an hour, guys. But I do promise that I will finish it before May the 4th, because that's what I have to do. Got to show your robots off on May the 4th, so we'll definitely be done by then. And if you follow EZ-Robot on social media, you'll be able to see it, likely see it there. And if you don't, well, I'll post to the community page. Oh, interesting. Yeah, you know what? I'm getting tired of those Arduino single function robots. They're all over Facebook as well, not just Reddit. There's a whole ton of Facebook groups that are about robotics, but every day somebody posts, how can I build a robot? And every day someone says, well, you can use an Arduino and an ultrasonic sensor. And there you go, there's your robot. Just breaks my heart. There's so much more you can do. The ARC software can take you to way new heights. It was funny the other day, I was in a thread where somebody recommended ROS to a beginner. And I was like, oh no. No, you don't want to do that. Even seasoned veterans have a hard time with ROS. Don't try to begin there, because you'll never want to do robots again after you go through trying to learn ROS as a beginner. Yeah, line following robots too. They've been around for so long. We can do more, people. We can do more. Okay, so I like to use these snips sometimes more than the Dremel tool, because you gotta get closer to the bottom with it sometimes, and I don't have to hear a loud grinding noise in my ear. Okay, one side is fairly complete, let's say. Just trying to see what we don't need. So I think I will keep some of those because they keep it together real nice. I think I will get rid of this cross beam right here because it's already broke anyway. And do I need that? So let's see here. Yes, I do need these pieces here because they fit in with those side pieces there. And let me go grab that piece that flew away. And this piece. Because that fits on like so. It's kind of a cover plate. Screw goes right into there, and I think that's this screw here. That I put to the side. These can stay together now. Turns out this didn't help at all when I removed it. Okay, so these can stay as one piece. Let's cut a couple of these guys off. Oh man. What have I done? I put it back together and it wants to stay together. Oh yeah, that's true. We could put a kind of a laser thing on the front of D-0. This looks kind of like a vent of a heat vent or some sort, or a laser vent or something. Does look kind of neat. I was thinking about putting a camera on it, input and camera there, but I don't think it's going to fit. May have to put the camera in the body. Okay. Let's cut this guy off. There we go. That gives us so much more room. Hopefully enough room for an IoTiny. Okay. So let's put this together. Look at that. We got all kinds of room. And then my plan is to fit these LEDs. So if you're not familiar, these are WS2812B LEDs. I bought these on Amazon. Pretty handy. They are an addressable LED. So what that means is that you send a signal to them and it can daisy chain that signal, and you can control each LED individually. So up to 65,535 different colors. I don't know if I got that number right, but I think I did. But it looks like we're going to need 5 for each slot. So break that off. Yeah, so these are a very great price. Whoops. Okay, so we're going to have to be careful. I want them to stay together as much as possible. There we go, 5 and 5. A couple extras here and there. I believe it was $20 maybe for all these. Might be cheaper than that. But pretty neat that you can get them in like a matrix kind of configuration. Unfortunately, they don't actually, they're not actually connected together at the back, but what I'm going to do is use these old resistor and capacitor legs and solder them across. And then we're going to use the EZ-Robot NeoPixel Blaster, which hopefully will be available soon. Hint, hint. Here to control these guys. So the NeoPixel Blaster could actually control up to 80 LEDs per channel, and it has 8 channels. So you do the math, that's quite a few LEDs that you can control with it. It has its own 1 amp 5 volt regulator, so you can't do millions of LEDs. You can only do, I don't know, if each one of these LEDs draws 50 milliamps. Alright, you're gonna make me do some math here. Good thing I got a calculator on my computer. So 0.05 amps. Oh wait, we'll just go 1 divided by 0.05. That's fully on, like fully white. Would it be about 20? This just this regulator can handle about 20 of these LEDs on its own. Probably a little more, I'm guessing. Alan says he bought 10 red laser diodes for $5. Oh well. He says the cat comes running every time. You know what? I forgot about that, the whole cat laser thing. But now it's very applicable to me because we just got a cat for my daughter's birthday just yesterday. And so now it's laser time, I guess. I need to get some lasers. I forgot about this whole thing. It's going to be a good time. Okay, so yeah, that IoTiny fits in there great. We will need a bit of room for this section. I don't know if we're going to be able to hide the servo somehow in there. I may need to find some sort of like rubber or what do you call that stuff, that wire loom, I think it's called. Yes, wire loom. Maybe a rectangle version of wire loom, if that that actually exists or not, I don't know. But that would be perfect for using right here to hide a servo or something. I don't know if I will do 2 servos, like pan and tilt. Tilt, pan. Well, I guess pan is like this. And then tilt like this. Because D-0, the interactive toy, tilts its head like this to turn. Do I want that? I don't know. Maybe. Oh, I get what you're saying, Alan. Sorry. You mounted the laser with a bit of Sugru to the pan and tilt camera. Oh, that's funny. Make the laser go anywhere under your control. Okay, so let me regroup here for a moment. What do we want to tackle? I do have to clean up a lot more plastic stuff. Well, not a lot, a bit more. So, well, that's no fun. I don't know if you guys want to watch me solder for a while. That isn't all that fun either, but I'll be soldering these guys, bridging all the 5 volts on the ground. So that's the nice thing about this too, that because these WS2012 addressable LEDs, RGB LEDs, need 5 volts, this guy provides it. That's the nice thing. Let's not use more middle fingers here. Whoops, my bad. Didn't mean to do that to you guys. So the 7.4 volts will come from the battery, go through the IoTiny, and then the IoTiny will power the NeoPixel blaster, and then this will regulate the voltage down for the RGB LEDs. That's how it'll work. Alright, so these are cleaned up nicely. I might attempt to clean this stuff up with a knife, although that does take a lot longer than a Dremel. Just so you have more control over it. I find the Dremel sometimes slips sometimes. Well, the knife can slip too, I guess. I don't know. What's your guys' vote? Knife or Dremel?
I mean, that side is pretty good. Don't really need to do much on there. This side is just a bit wonky.
I think I need a drink. I'm at that point in the hack where I need a bit of thinking time. I could explore getting that battery in there. It's definitely going to be it's going to be a miracle to get that thing in there. I may have to go with a smaller battery. I do have some smaller batteries like I used in the Mecanum wheel hack, the Beastly hack. So I do have some of those left over I can use. Won't last as long, but it'll be fine for fitting. So that means I don't have to use this guy and try to do my best to make that happen.
Excuse me.
The other battery will fit in here, no problem. Trying to think of a way to get rid of these fins that would work well. Oh, these could possibly do it, but I don't know. Yeah, they can only go so far. Basically, you would have to chomp a couple pieces, break a piece off like that, and just keep on going. Chomp, break, chomp, break. I guess you can use. Be slow going, but I could do it that way. I could also use the Dremel with the longer bit, but it would only go so far. Tricky business, guys. Tricky business having to modify these plastics like this so much. Maybe I should have bought the interactive toy. It's actually available at Toys R Us here in Canada for, I think it's regular price $160 Canadian, and they've dropped it to 70 something. So fairly affordable. Probably would have been much easier to take apart. And probably wouldn't have had to hack all that much because it does have some decent stuff inside of it. The only thing is that thing like tipped over like crazy, so I don't know. Would not have been a good time, let's say. Okay, yes, I made the decision. Not going to use the big battery. It's going to be too much trouble. We're going for a small battery. It's going to fit in here. We're going to have the door on there. It's going to hide that battery nicely. That's the way we're going to do it. We're going to have the IoTiny in the head as well as this guy, the NeoPixel Blaster. And then we will need, yes, this is what we should do. We should modify the servo electronics and hook them up to these motors. And you probably can keep the length of the wire now that I'm thinking about this. Before we were going to chop this wire down and resolder it on here, but now that the control electronics will be in the head, we've got a lot of space in there. And we will need the length to go from here to the head. And we might go like through the side or something and go into some sort of wire loom system like this, up into the head. But I'm not sure at this point. Oh yeah, that's true. Could use a soldering iron to melt the plastic. Or a Sawzall, yes, that's definitely a option as well. Not a very precise option, but an option nonetheless. Okay, so let's move some of this stuff away. Give me some room here.
And we'll start doing a bit of soldering. Those electronics can stay over there.
Dio's head, I hate you. Go away. Dio, go on the other bench. A saber saw. I do not have a saber saw. But that would be
Pretty excellent. Is it a saber saw? I'm trying to think. Like, I might have this wrong. Is it the same as a reciprocating saw?
where it has a blade that's kind of like a jigsaw and just like
Does that?
reciprocates.
They use them for
Demolishing houses and stuff. Sawzall.
I'm trying to think of what a sawzall is too.
Is there? Can you guys post pictures in the chat? I'm guessing no, but
That would be helpful.
you can put links, I guess.
Or a description works as well. Okay, so the rest of these LEDs don't have to be here. I can put them away for another day, another project. And let's focus on this section. So, these wires don't have to be this long. Or maybe we can, because our electronics will want to fit somewhere nice, like in there. And we want a bit of strain relief at the same time. So, you know what? Yeah, we don't have to trim that much. I'll do a little bit of trimming. Strip that back. We'll tin these wires and solder them onto the servo PCB. First, we need our soldering iron plugged in.
The plug-in is way down here.
Looks like it's plugged in already.
Well, that's weird. I guess the switch is getting a little rusty. Didn't turn on the first time. Or I didn't wait long enough. Oh, yes. Okay. I had the saber saw right. But sawzall, is that the kind of like... I'm thinking chop saw. Is a sawzall like a chop saw? Like you go press down with it? Great description, I know.
Okay, we'll wait for that to get up to temperature, and while we do that, let's clean up our desk a little bit.
We don't need that much
Stuff over here. Organize it a little.
Save these, put them in my bin.
Okay. We're at temperature. Let's do some soldering. Yeah, these guys definitely don't need to be that long. We probably want to extend the speaker wires though. Okay, let's do some tinning of these wires. remove these motor wires off of here. These are old EZ-Robot HD servos that I'm not using any longer, so I do not need them. After moving to all digital servos, I've never gone back to analog. Well, I have and I haven't. I just mean in the regular servo format. In larger servos, I still use some analog servos. Sorry, just getting rid of this silicone stuff that's on top of the potentiometer wires here. That reminds me, I will have to use some SMD or resistors to substitute for the potentiometer, which is a 5K pot. So we're going to put on 2.5 volt.
It's getting late.
2.5 k ohm. That's what I was looking for. Resistors to substitute for the pot. So each 2.5 k ohm goes from ground to the wiper and from 5 volts or plus to the wiper. Positive voltage, I should say. You know, when you work a full day and then you go and do a hack that is like, you know, a little bit,
Man, I am getting slow right now.
you know, it's a little bit strenuous on the mind when you're hacking. You have to be doing a whole bunch of thinking in real time and trying to figure out what you want to do after a full day of work. Yeah, it's tricky. It's fun, but it does come with its challenges. Yeah, about this hour is when I have trouble making my words come out right. Okay, so it looks like I don't have a third arm.
Or do I? Do I have one? No, looks like I'm
All out of third arm, so I'm just gonna have to do this the old-fashioned way. You know what, before I do that, let's do the resistors first, because it's easier to manipulate these once they're not soldered on those motor wires. Hopefully DJ won't mind me taking a few tiny 0603 resistors. DJ's in his happy place at the moment. Thunder Bay, his home. And looks like he's gearing up to do some jet skiing soon. Thing that he loves to do out there.
Yeah, I don't know if DJ's in the chat, but oh, thank you, Grayson. Thanks for joining us. Sorry, I was just reading the chat there. It's a buddy of mine, a skateboarder friend. Welcome, Grayson. I actually made it on time to the stream today. I don't usually, well, no, I lied. I was late. But by only like 5 minutes, not like 2 hours. Oh, thanks for saying my stream overlays were cool. I was copying some of the YouTubers that I follow, and it wasn't exactly one-to-one. It doesn't look perfect,
But hey, this is how we grow, right? We try different things. And maybe somebody, an artistic person of some sort will have pity on me and say, hey, you know what, I can help you out with those overlays. Hint, hint. Martha, if you're watching, need your help. Martha's my wife, and she's pretty good at graphics online, on the computer. Alright, we're soldering on these resistors where the potentiometer used to go, and this will allow our servo electronics to control the motors on the D-0, and we'll control them as continuous rotation servos. We'll use the ARC software to do that. Yeah, if you guys are ever needing a logo, I definitely cannot recommend enough going on Fiverr and getting yourself an artist to do a logo for you. I paid a little extra to get mine done, my bot matrix logo, to have the file and that kind of thing and be able to use it. It's a vector file, so it can be scaled any size. And so I definitely recommend doing that. It was well worth the money. Just going to use a little bit of flux here to reflow the connection a little bit. Right here is Kester. What do we got? 951. No clean flux. That's the best stuff. You don't have to use when it doesn't get sticky, and you don't have to use a brush and alcohol to clean it up after. No clean is where it's at. Okay, that looks much better. You see there's still little bits of silicone left over on these servo electronics, so try to take that off. Yeah, actually good on them. Like, not all these servos have silicone put on them, but we asked for it because it holds the wires on there and lets these servos last for a long time, but some of the earlier versions didn't have it on there. This one does. Okay, one servo electronics prepped, one more to go. Grayson, did you see my 3D glasses? Nice. I was even gonna do red and blue on the background of my video, which would have been perfect for 3D glasses, but I decided to stick with my orange and blue theme that my logo is. So. But I was gonna say, Grayson, we haven't seen you on TikTok in a while. Have you seen how well my milk crates TikTok is doing? You'll have to look. So Grayson also got me into TikTok, and a friend of mine, Eric, both skateboarders, guys I like to skate with. They got me hooked on it, and now I'm part of the TikTok 3D printing community. Alright, those solder joints flow pretty well, so I don't think I'll reflow them with the flux. I think we'll keep them as is. And let's solder those to our motors the old-fashioned way. We're going to put a blob of solder on the soldering iron, and then these little, you know what, I was going to say I'm going to cut this off, this rubber piece, but let's just put it down here for now. It might come in handy later. Excuse me. Okay, so I know I probably should have paid attention which was black and which was red to see our polarity, but it doesn't matter too much. We can just invert the servo in the software. Okay, we'll trim that up. Gotcha. Yeah, I forgot a lot of people use that night shift kind of mode on your phone or on your screens, your LCD screens. It makes things yellowy, and likely in this case more red. Okay, so this is the hard part, when your wire doesn't want to cooperate with you and stay in place. Oh, almost. Alright, we got it. Couple more solder connections. We could do a little function test. Funny enough, we won't see much because,
You know, these are the actual wheels that would be supposed to be turning.
so we would only see gears turning on this side if we did a test. So the power supply was 6 volts. That was 4 AA batteries that was in here. We're going to be overvolting it a bit with 7.4 volts. But I think it should be fine. These toy motors can handle some abuse, as we've seen in my other hacking videos. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I'm not quite TikTok famous. I would say I've had a micro viral hit, let's say. 50,000 views on a video. I've had that happen, like I said, on YouTube. Not as high, because it was like 30,000 one time. But yeah, my friend Grayson here, he has had a few good hits as well with his frog video, I think it was, on YouTube. And my friend Eric also had a viral sensation for a moment. Solder skills. If you look up Solar Robotics, I'm trying to remember the year. Probably 2011 or 2012 on their YouTube channel. You will see yours truly, this guy, teaching people how to solder. It's a very simple tutorial, but it probably would help a little bit for kind of learning like the whole gamut of skills, like hot air rework, using your regular iron and all that stuff. You could probably check out, I'm trying to think, like, there's a guy that does all kinds of soldering stuff named Louise Rosman. He fixes Apple computers on YouTube, and he can show you some really cool things, but you have to, like, he does like live streaming like I do, so you have to like go through all of his stream to kind of dig out the nuggets. But there's another guy named Great Scott. I think he is great at tutorials. But you know what? I think you just, if you search some on YouTube, just like how to solder, you're gonna get a million videos, and they all have good stuff. I would trust that Solar Robotics video with me in it a little more, but that's just me because I'm me. Yeah. So these are the crates. I have them right here, Grayson. This is them connected with that little red piece that I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, there you go on this side. Connecting the handles together. And then the crates stack vertically as well. Fun. People have been like, oh yeah, you should put tiny milk bottles in there. That'd be funny. Milk jugs, or people are like, we're going to put tiny food in it, or candy. And then we put SD cards in there, made them into little kind of record lookalikes. Don't know if anyone recognizes that album. It's one of my faves.
There's this album too. I don't have it, but it is a good one. I don't know if you can see that if you're using a phone. Here, let's switch cameras for a second to give you a fighting chance to see what it is. There we go. And we have the back. My printer, this is inkjet sticker paper, and I have a laser printer, so it didn't do so hot. If you look close, you can actually see the song titles are on there. Yeah, there are so many people that want to buy them. It's an overwhelming amount. And I had thought at first that I was going to get into 3D printing and sales, but I only have one printer, and it would be me trying to print 24/7 every day, every hour to try to get those orders out. So I recruited my good friend. I don't know if I've ever mentioned him on stream. His name is Chris Gilroy. He also streams. His streaming address is Phoenix Blue Studios. He streams on Twitch and Facebook Live sometimes. And yeah, he's going to be printing them out for people. So the TikTok people don't know that yet. I haven't revealed that yet because he's working on a page on his website to do that and have like color selection and stuff. But anyways, enough about me. Let's do some more hacking. And maybe we won't do some more hacking because it's 10 o'clock and I'm running out of steam. I only have a little bit left in my drink. But I'll carry on. I have the soldering iron hot, so might as well do some more soldering. Yeah, Dark Side of the Moon, you know it. You don't know the blue one? Oh, come on, guys. Help Grayson out. What album is this? Blue album. It's a famous Blue album. There. Yeah, my finger was over top of the writing there. Okay, so what we're going to do is use some of these while I wait for you guys to come up with the answer. I feel like Alan, you would know. Like Alan, I feel like it'd be your stuff because you like the punk, you like the punk music. So this band was kind of like the era of post-punk, let's say, like right after punk was huge. But they were on like the tail end. Oh wait, Grayson might know. The Blue album. Does that help you out? It's not officially, it's actually self-titled, so it's not actually, it's in, I don't know what you call that, in lore, or people commonly refer to it as the Blue album. One of my favorites growing up, it came out when I was coming of age, let's say 16 years old, skateboarding, my old hometown. Oh, Genesis? Nope, not quite. This band is still around today, still making music. The music is not as good as that album. I dare say, not that great at all. The interesting thing about that band is that a lot of the bandmates went to, I think, Harvard, I believe, while they were still a band, and graduated, and then they, because that was their dream, I guess, to go to Harvard and become a doctor of some sort. I don't know if a medical doctor, but get a doctorate. But yeah, then they ended up becoming pretty successful as a band, and I think they came back together.
Grayson looked it up. Cheating.
But someone had to.
Yeah, I guess. I never thought about that. We're going to have a whole generation that has no idea what album covers are because they just listen to music on streams.
That man, I'm a hardware guy, guys. Like I love the album art. I love the tactile feel of having a CD still. Everyone's abandoned CDs, but I'm still holding out. Still got my VHS tapes too. Although most of them are turning into robots these days. Haha, yes.
Oh man, Grayson, you have to. The Weezer Blue album.
Because they had a green album afterwards that was also self-titled, so there was the green and the blue album. They have a red album as well.
Yes, Weezer, one of my favorite bands growing up. So yeah, I got to do a whole lot of soldering on these LEDs to try to bridge all the connections here. Not so exciting, I know, guys. I gotta check actually if these are actually, there's continuity between ground and 5-volt lines, pads on each of these. Sure ground is, but I'm not sure about 5 volts. Yep. Yep, we're good. So each of these has a I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but I'll try my best.
Oh yeah. You know what? We have focus action. I forgot that you guys can see this stuff. There you go. So you see 5 volts on one side, ground on the other, and then D in and D out. And so we can bridge the ground and 5 volt connections, but for D in and D out, we need to connect D in, D out, D in, D out. Bridge across those, but not all the way across. Oh, wrong way. Sorry, guys. I wish I had a cool autofocusing camera, but you got this guy. This is my autofocus. Yeah, Weezer. Space above and beyond. Nice. No, I don't think I ever did watch that show, but I'm interested.
I do like space shows because they have robots in them usually. Remember the black hole? Yes, the black hole. Like that was a great. Well, it's great in memory, but I'm guessing it's probably not that great of a show. They just showed it on it's Disney's Sunday Night Movie or whatever quite a bit. So I like the Maximus robot. I was a little bit scared of it, and I did like the goofy looking trash robots. I forget what they called them.
Sorry, I'm laughing at Alan's
Comment in the chat there. That's awesome. Yeah, my kids struggle. When I struggled when I was a kid with analog clocks. These days it's probably such a difficult thing for kids. I just always loved the digits and the colors and the lights of digital clocks. So that's why I never really got into analog clocks. And I hated the bong 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 of big grandfather clocks. Was not a fan. So I always try to stay away from analog clocks. But I still can read them. Just if I have to. Well, yeah, kids these days, man, not a chance. My kids, yeah, I've tried. Yeah, they because they have so much screens and every screen has a clock on it. It's a crutch. It's very easy to rely on. But I'm sure that there'll always be a spot in life where there's going to be an analog clock. It'll be imperative. Your life will depend on it. That you'll have to read it. So it's always good to have that skill. Mark my words. There one day you'll have to defuse a bomb with an analog clock on it, or something to that effect. So it'll be good. It'll be good knowledge to have. Or you'll have to read a sundial. Then you'll figure out, oh yes, okay, then I can just read the time from where the sun is in the sky. And then everything will make sense.
Yeah, it was a creepy
Robot movie, for sure. But yeah, the black hole was definitely a classic, that's for sure. Okay, guys, I need to do this rail system on 2 more of these, and then solder a bunch of these little bridges from D in, D out, D in, D out. Maybe I should have done that first. It would have been easier. I'll do that on these 2. Save that for the end. But yeah, I'm just going to be doing some soldering here. Tell me some stories.
We'll try to keep up the conversation here. What about other old robot movies that you guys liked? And here's a separate one. Did you guys like the new Lost in Space? I give it 2 thumbs up. Yes, Lost in Space, the new series, definitely was into it. Liked the robot as well. I wish the robot had a bit more character, let's say. All he could say was Danger, Will Robinson, but you know, I guess they meant it that way because he had more depth in his actions than he did in his voice. So there's that. Yeah, true. When your clock only has 4 numbers on it, it is a little bit tricky to tell time. Yeah, I'm glad you liked it, Roborad. I never saw the original series, so I guess I'm not nostalgic. And I apologize, because I've heard great things about the original Lost in Space series. It just, I just haven't got to it, and probably haven't had great access to it either. Like, I don't know where I could find it. Maybe they have it on DVD these days. No, it's an interesting thing here. Now that we're talking about DVDs. The apex of technology. You guys know that Astro Boy, the cartoon from the 80s, not the original like 60s one, that was put out on DVD, but is so rare these days. I purchased a copy, and I think it was, $50 or $60, I think. But it's so rare these days that it was at one point being sold on Amazon for $500. And I also saw a thread of guys talking about it in my town, and they were asking, like, "Hey, who has this? I want to bootleg all the Astro Boy videos, and all the geeks in town, nobody had it, but I did, and I didn't tell because I don't want them to bootleg it." That's not very nice. They should buy a copy, but unfortunately, yes, it is an absorbent amount of money because of its rarity.
the moral dilemmas you get yourself into sometimes. But yeah, those cartoons are awesome. Definitely worth what I paid for and more. There was like a 90s, no, I think 2000s version of Astro Boy cartoon. Not the movie. The movie looked really weird and I didn't want to watch it. But there's a series that was pretty decent too. I own that as well. And that is much cheaper to purchase.
Silent Running. Yeah, I don't think I've watched that. Yes, I agree, Grayson. Roman numerals. It's game over for most kids these days. Nice. Oh, interesting.
Alan's not a fan of Lost in Space. Give us your reasons, Alan. I'm curious. I just thought it was a great sci-fi show and an okay story. Of course, there was some annoying people in it, yes. Like Dr. Gray, whatever. Made me cringe every time she was on an episode. Just because of her dishonestness. And then, I don't know. The kid, yes. The kid was a bit annoying as well. Will Robinson, yes, Will. Danger Will Robinson. That's the one. Iron Giant, yes. A+ for you, Alan. That's a must-see. It's a great film. And by great film, I mean I have great memories of it. I have no idea if it's a great film or not. You know, it's one of those things where you're biased. You had a great memory and enjoyed the time watching the movie, but that was years ago, so it may not hold up. I would have to rewatch it, I guess. I own it because I've been collecting robot movies, and I should put Silent Running on my list. I do have the goal to try to collect all the big robot movies. Yeah, Grayson. I'm glad you watched Iron Giant as well. You know what? I could almost put The Brave Little Toaster on as a robot movie because it was that era. Definitely great memories of that movie too. But can't really label a toaster a robot. It kind of had a mind of its own and had a voice and stuff, so maybe, but
it was more like a fantasy machine come to life. Is that meant to say too simplistic, not realistic? Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I guess. I think maybe my wife didn't like The Expanse, so we didn't end up watching it, but I've heard good things. We watched a few episodes. But at the time we were watching Lost in Space, we also watched Dark Matter, and so those two are like about in the same sort of suspend your belief category. And yeah, they're pretty decent, I'd say. Like, yeah, if you watch a show that's more realistic, then yeah, I could see that. The Expanse had a really cool concept, though. I like the idea that in the future, there's a whole different political system. The Republic of Mars, I think one was called, and then one of the asteroid belt. And they were kind of like the gatekeepers. I'm making most of this up, but there is a vague semblance of The Expanse in there. Yeah, Wall-E for sure. I own that one too. I also own the movie Robots. I wasn't really a big fan of that. I think there was the main bad guy was Mr. Clocksworth or something. Oh yes. Oh, you've hit a hot button, Alan.
The Transformers series I could rant about forever. You know why? Because I grew up on Generation 1 Transformers and the cartoon and the cartoon movie. Oh yeah, nice. Neo Genesis of... I don't know how to pronounce that word. Evangelion? Yes, that's... I believe that has Gundam robots in it, right? Yeah, I really love Gundam style robots. But going back to this Transformers thing, I'm not going to let it go yet. 1980s Transformers was the real deal. Well, that's the authentic Transformers to me. And then when Michael Bay came around and ruined everything from my childhood, and Michael Bay-ized everything, oh, I was so angry. Optimus Prime had some sort of weird lips going on when originally he had his full tin mouth. Oh, so many terrible things to come out of that series. It was nice that they had Peter Cullen, the original voice of Optimus Prime, still there doing the voice of Optimus Prime, but everything else, just train wreck. And they changed the type of semi that Optimus Prime was. Why? Why not just keep him a cab over like the original semi-truck Optimus Prime? Why mess with it? Then you have to go flames on the side and everything. Oh, it was so terrible. Okay, here it is. Here is the reason why I'll rant forever on the Transformers series and Michael Bay's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's because when you grow up and you're watching cartoons and they're quite meaningful to you, you grow attached to the characters and you identify with some of them and you have really nostalgic memories about these things. And then, you think to yourself, like most kids do, wouldn't it be cool to have a live action movie of these things? Because we always imagine these things in real life, right? Oh, wouldn't it be cool if Optimus Prime was real? And so in your mind you think, oh yes, these characters that I view and see and have identified with and they look a certain way, these are the characters that I want to come to life. And so when Michael Bay announced, hey, we're going to do a live-action Transformers, oh man, it's like my dream come true. It's like, yeah, dream come true. It's amazing. The planets have aligned. This is actually going to happen. This is amazing. These are the things we talked about as kids for hours and hours. Wouldn't it be cool if... But then Michael Bay took my childhood dreams. Let's say it's represented, this represents my childhood dreams. He took it, and he went like this, lit it on fire, and just tossed it away. It was a train wreck. It was terrible acting. Over-sexualized. It was so bad. And I'll never forgive him for it. Michael Bay, if you're listening, you ruined my childhood. Well, no, you ruined my adulthood. Let's say my 20s. You ruined my 20s, Michael Bay. Sorry, I've been ranting too much. I didn't even actually see what was going on in the chat here. Yep, I definitely agree, Roborad. There was too many of those Transformer movies. After the first two that I tried to give a chance, I never watched any of them after that. And I refused to buy the movies. Oh, that's awesome. That's cool that kids think that your car is like a Transformer. Yeah, I think Sunstreaker... Maybe it was Fiero. Look it up. Look up Sunstreaker. There was also a red car, but I'm trying... Because Fieros were mostly red, right?
I can picture the look in my mind, but I can't picture exactly the color and stuff. Sorry, let me solder this and I'll read some more chat here. Yeah, definitely. Gundam series is pretty cool. Same with Robotech. I like that. You have to like really invest in them though. Yeah, my wife didn't like the vulgarness of The Expanse, and yeah, it definitely was slow at the beginning for sure. I may watch it on my own, but I'm not too sure when that'll happen. Oh, Grayson. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine that you have a spot in your heart for the new Transformers and Shia LaBeouf. Because you didn't grow up with the original ones and have all those dreams and stuff like I had, so... Yeah. Michael Bay does. Yes, Michael Bay's touch. He's like the anti-Midas touch, you know? Everything he touches turns to garbage instead of gold. Megan Fox is the name you're thinking of, I believe. Robo-Red. Yes, Megan Fox even has actually talked about recently working with Michael Bay and said that he was terrible to work for. So that brought some sort of, I don't know what you want to call it, some sort of emotion to my mind that was like, yes, even Megan Fox doesn't like Michael Bay. Somebody else is on my side. Oh, interesting. Yeah, actually, funny enough, I grew up on Star Trek reruns, like the Captain Kirk Star Trek, the good stuff. I'd wake up really early in the morning, and after school I'd watch it as well, and I really enjoyed it. And then the Next Generation came out, and something changed in me. I don't know what it was. I just couldn't get into it. And the opposite was for my wife. She does not like the Captain Kirk Star Trek, but loves the Picard Star Trek. Grayson, did you ever get into Star Trek, or any of your friends, any of the younger generation ever get into Star Trek? Because it may have been a thing that was like long gone by your time. I mean, the new movies were pretty cool with Chris Pine. But to tell you the truth, I haven't even watched like the older Star Trek movies except for the one with transparent aluminum. That was so epic. Such a good... Oh, if you haven't, like, just watch a clip of like the transparent aluminum portion of one of the movies. So good. It seems legit though. I've heard that, well, it's not transparent aluminum that people have developed. They've developed transparent wood. And so if there's a type of plant that has wood fibers that run in one direction, like they're all parallel to each other, and you can actually like bleach it enough that it's transparent and it's still wood. I figured as much, Grayson. Yeah, it wasn't your generation's kind of thing. Oh, nice. The Wrath of Khan, hey? I don't know. I don't think I've watched that one, but I might have to now because you guys are talking it up. Yeah, there was a lot of Next Generation stuff that I wasn't a big fan of. I don't know why. Data. Okay, Data was the one, because I liked robots, and Data was a android. The Uncanny Valley thing was big for me. When looking at Data, I could not empathize with him because he was too close to human being looking. Now, and like just enough off, I guess, because the Uncanny Valley, for those of you that don't know what that term means,
This means that, well, hopefully I described this right, that there is a certain look about robots, and if they try to emulate human beings, it just like feels weird if they don't look human enough.
It looks like
It's just an abomination sort of thing, and people feel very awkward, and makes them feel off because the robot isn't perfect. So for me, that feeling came about when watching Data, and I wasn't too pleased with that. I do like that they did like encompass this robot into this android into the fleet and stuff, and that it didn't have any emotions and stuff, and there was lots of speculation around that maybe he does have emotions, and I just did not enjoy that part. Philadelphia experiment, hey? Oh, interesting. Yeah, so that was... And the next generation was also coming out when I was, I don't know, into other things as well. Skateboarding. Cartoons, like a bunch of kids, a bunch of people maybe a little younger than me were into Pokemon, the actual TV show when it came out. But I was like countercultural, and I went with Digimon. Should have went with Pokemon. It's still here today, and Digimon is just a distant memory. Yeah, Pokemon 1 in the Mon Wars there. Although, actually, I heard that Digimon has a card game out now. Oh yeah, Big Hero 6. That is a robot movie. I don't own it, actually. I should purchase it. In my town, there's an app called Virage Sale with a V, and people put all kinds of stuff on there. It's like a digital garage sale, and it's kind of like Facebook Marketplace, or kind of like Craigslist or Kijiji if you're Canadian. But it's just local to my city, and so, well, I mean, a number of cities participate, but it's usually for smaller cities, and I can buy some good stuff on there for a good price a lot of the time. That's where I got this D-0 robot, actually, funny enough. So so I get garage sale pricing on a number of things, and that's where I pick up some of my robot movies too. So I'll have to be on the lookout for Big Hero 6. And maybe that Con movie as well. Digi-Who, yeah, that's true. Forgettable series, I guess, but I thought it was cool. I got into it. There was also another show called Monster Rancher that I was into, but man, that's a distant memory as well. Cool. Replicator spider robots, eh? Huh. SG-1, that's Stargate, right? Or is that Star Trek SG-1? I'm so confused. Yeah, Ex Machina. That was an interesting one. Don't worry, a lot of people fell asleep during that one. Oh yeah, it was okay. I like those robot movies are just cool because of the concept of them. They're usually not like a huge blockbuster hit or anything. If you ever heard of the movie Her, it's with Walking Phoenix in it. I think that's his name. It's about a Siri kind of AI that's this dude, like,
starts falling in love with, but then it starts becoming sentient, and yeah, it's an interesting show. I definitely want to buy it if I ever come across it. It's another AI/robot movie. It hits close to home, I guess, in some ways. You could see it possibly happening. Yeah, Stargate SG-1, that's what it was. I got all so confused. I thought it was like Star Trek SG-1 for a second. Yeah, I got into Stargate for a while, but I don't know what happened. I just lost interest or something, or graduated high school or something, and life changed. Yeah, I did have some good androids for sure. Ex Machina was... I definitely recommend you watch it, but I don't know if it's like a banger, as Grayson says. Feels so wrong to say words that are of a younger generation. I guess I'm on TikTok and doing my best to fit in the new generation. If I have some viral success on TikTok, I guess I'm doing something right? Yeah, definitely watch Her. That sounds weird, but the movie Her, Walking Phoenix. I mean, it's not a blockbuster, not a timeless classic like other films, but it's one of those films like that gives you a picture of what the future might be like, and that's interesting to me in terms of AI. There's another film that is very similar to Her, and it's not coming to mind, but it was a comedy. Oh, what was it? I feel like Jonah Hill was in it. Maybe not. But dang it, I can't remember. We just watched. No, it wasn't Jonah Hill. It was Samwise Gamgee. No, it wasn't Sam. It was another dude. Ah, memory is failing. I'm getting too old. I need a memory implant. Anyways, yeah, there was a film that was similar to it. That was about a cell phone AI that gets really jealous and... dang. It'll come to me like tomorrow or something. Yeah, funny, Grayson. Nope, I'm not Gen Z. They label me I'm a weird hybrid. I'm a Gen X / Gen Millennial. Gen X / Millennial. They call me the Zillennial group, or X-Lineal, or whatever you want to call it, with an X. Oh yeah, let me know what that one was, Roborad. I don't remember the name. Yeah, so I guess there's this certain group between late 70s and early 80s that is kind of interesting because we're a group that still remembers rotary phones, Betamax, VHS, but also we're like the first to get on to the internet in our teens and adopt that. So we're able to sympathize with the older generation or empathize, I guess you'd say, and then we're also able to get the new generation because we got on to the new tech right away and loved every minute of it and watched it evolve. And we got cell phones right away. We're early adopters and that kind of thing. So, I don't know. Maybe they say that kind of thing to make my generation feel special, because that's the millennial part of us that wants to have that. But I don't know. I guess I do. I don't really be like. I'm not really. I don't really. What am I trying to say? It's late. I don't really see myself as a millennial, I guess. You know, when there's millennial jokes and stuff like that, I laugh at them because I don't feel like it's me. I feel like it's a generation younger than me. But yeah, I probably am really should be in the millennial group. So I'm young enough to be that, I guess. But not old enough to get a vaccine yet. Come on. I'm not 40 yet. Yeah, Zillennial. It sounds like Xena the Warrior Princess. If you're old enough to remember that one. Okay, after all that chatting and stuff, thanks for helping me out with that. Like, I got through all the soldering I need to do on these LEDs. Well, I lied. Not all the soldering, because I still need to hook them up to these guys. And what I'll do is I'll salvage some old servo wires. DJ has a few lying around here that I think he'll be okay with me taking. That'll solder onto there, and then we can plug them into the NeoPixel blaster that can make these LEDs light up any color we want. Yeah, I feel like you are more our generation, Alan, because you like punk music, and the boomers don't always like the punk. So, and yes, yeah, early tech adopter as well. I could see that. That's awesome. My dad actually did all of our computer stuff when I was a kid. I never really saw myself as like a computer enthusiast, but I think I was through my dad. He was really big on computers and technology. He said he bought like all the first computers that came out, except for Apple. He wasn't a big Apple fan, but the first 386 and 486, and he had Commodore VIC-20 and Commodore 64, all those computers as they're coming out. And me, I only started playing on the computer and doing stuff when I think he had his PC loaded up with Windows 3.1. So I started off with the early days of Windows and learning computers with a graphical user interface instead of, well, I did have to use DOS to load up Windows and stuff. So I did have a command line interface that I learned with. And interestingly enough, in tech school, I had a C++ course that had a DOS, like a whole DOS segment of the course. I don't know why I'm using my hands at it. Whole DOS segment of the course. It was like, I think a quarter of the semester. Yeah, that was very, very easy for me, and I aced that section of the course. Because I grew up with typing out command line stuff. Oh, wow, you have the Trash 80. Yeah, DJ tells me about that computer. I never really got into that, but oh, right on. Yeah. I'm guessing you had, like the Palm Pilot before the cell phones came out and stuff there, Alan. Did you have a satellite phone, sat phone for your vehicle? Yeah, so yeah, anyways, like I was saying, I'm not a computer enthusiast myself. My dad was, but I kind of just got to benefit from that and grew up on older computer games. I thought that computer games were like way better than console games at first. And the funny thing is it's come full circle because now computer games are back to being on top.
Right on, Grayson. Thanks for joining us. It was great to have you. Good to chat. Yeah, peace and love. Catch you later, man. Have a great time with your buddies playing games, and hopefully I'll share this D-0 hack when it's done with you. You can see it rolling around. Sorry that it's taken me so long. I blame it on this. This literally took me an hour to take apart. And there'll be a fair warning to anyone in the future trying to hack the D-0 is this head is almost impossible. Oh, right on. Yeah, that would have been cool to be early adopter of cell phones and stuff. I only got to be a early adopter of the next generation of phones. I did have a sliding phone, hey? Not a flip phone, sliding phone. There was a phone called the LG Chocolate, and you had to slide it up to type on, do your T9 word text and stuff like that, and then slide it back down. And then it had a music kind of interface like an iPod on the top. That was at a touchpad. Yep. Yeah, that pesky Capcom. It's, can't even form words anymore. Do I have any more to drink? No, I don't. Yes, that capsule head. So annoying. But yes, I'm going to be working on this weekend. We need to have it done. Deadline, May 4th or before. And when does that lie on? Is that Monday? Let me check. Tuesday, okay. At least I have another few days. Okay. But I'll be sharing the D-0 build. I should take some pictures now so I can have some in-between pictures and tell everybody never to hack this robot because, yeah. Oh, no way. You beta tested the chocolate phone? That's awesome. Oh, it turns out that slide phones were not a great idea because over time when you slid it so much, the ribbon cable that attached the top of the phone to the bottom of the phone would break over time. And that the heat sensor on that they used for getting your thumb to recognize your thumb basically when you're moving the circle around failed over time as well. So that phone was definitely not the best, but I enjoyed the look of it. It looked cool, and I got some Bluetooth headphones with it, like the first Bluetooth headphones out there. They never had like Bluetooth headphones for years and years. After that, there was Plantronics had a set of Bluetooth headphones that went with it, and it had a microphone that was like a little straw that pulled out. And so I used that in the past to use with our robots and stuff. Because yeah, it was like, I don't know, maybe they were ahead of their time at the time. People were not very open to having Bluetooth headphones at that point because of they thought get lots of cancer because of Bluetooth headphones. Right on, Alan. You, I wish they would have listened. Maybe there are definitely some issues with that phone. But funny enough, I bought some parts on eBay, and I amalgamated two phones together. There was a green one that was on Verizon from the States, and mine was black. And so I combined them and made like this cool looking green apple and black chocolate phone. And I was pretty proud of it. I think I still have it actually. It was my first cell phone. But that's too bad that your feedback wasn't used. LG. Do they even make phones anymore? Might be the reason. But yeah, guys, I think I'm running out of steam. I think that's all I can handle for one night of pure disappointment with this robot's head and not being able to fit my battery in there, so I need another battery, so I'm gonna have to do this again this weekend. we'll make it happen. And then I'll start backfilling and finishing off some of my other robot hacks. I want to finish off Beastly because I never got to show off the strafing motion. I'm going to be 3D printing a replacement for his wheel hub that keeps on breaking. It's such a sad thing that such cool Mecanum wheels, but such cheap and brittle plastic, unfortunately. So I'm going to 3D print something that hopefully will last longer than that injection molded piece that keeps on breaking. Wait, I got a resin printer now, so maybe it'll work out better in terms of strength. We'll see. Anyway, stay tuned. Oh, no way! Oh, that's such a funny thing that I made a comment about LG, and that's that they actually are out of the cell phone market now. Oh, smartphone market. They might still be in the cell phone market. I don't know, but LG, yep, not always the greatest at electronics, but I'm glad that they're out there creating competition. And then lastly, I do have a live hack about the grip tape robot. I vow to get back to that one. It just is taking a lot of mind energy because it's a lot of mechanical stuff that I'm not used to building on a larger macro scale. So I'll have to get back to that one. I have sworn that I'm going to finish that one, and I might use the Atomic Pi to run that because it's a very cheap Windows-based computer, and it'll be able to be all in one. I'll be able to hand it off to the customer I want to give it to. So yeah, that'll be the live hacks in the future. Not sure if I'll be able to do it every week, but we'll see how it goes. I'll certainly try, and because I like doing it, and it gets a lot of projects done when I sit down and hack. And I enjoy talking with you guys because you guys are my robot buddies and you get the context of what I'm talking about. So I appreciate you guys. Thanks for joining tonight. Thanks to my buddy Grayson that joined us too. That was awesome. And have a great weekend, guys. We will catch you hopefully next week. Good night.